Let's go back to the NFL. And Albert Greer, who does a great job covering the league, he has his daily or weekly show up in Boston. And, Rob, he talked about why Bill Belichick did not get the Atlanta job, which, of course, went to Raheem Morris. Here he is.
I'm going to give Cap some credit for this because the Sunday show that we do, he asked me before one of the shows, can you go find out what the market for Bill was? And I thought it'd be pretty straightforward, and it actually wasn't. Mm-hmm. It was, oh, yeah, he could definitely get a job as an executive, as kind of an overseer. Oh, yeah, he could definitely get a job as a coach. But no one's going to throw him the keys the way that he has them in New England. So I hope that's not what he's expecting. And I think that's what it comes down to is, like, teams used to be set up the way the Patriots have been the last 24 years. No one is anymore. And no one centers it that much around the head coach. The job's just too big now. And so, like, I think a lot of this comes down to Arthur Blank wanted to hire, and I have that on good authority. I know you've heard it too. Arthur Blank wanted to hire Bill Belichick, the head coach. And it wasn't the money. I think he was willing to pay him. It was everything else that was going to have to happen. And the amount of people around him that Bill's going to need here, and the amount of people that might be outgoing because of it. And I think people in that building knew, like, hey, if Bill comes here, I probably won't be here for much longer. And so those people wind up getting in Blank's ear.
Interesting, Rob.
Well, if that's what the reason was, Chris, then I hope Arthur Blank never wins a Super Bowl. You can't run a business like that. Yeah, you can't run a business like that. You heard what I said. I'm hoping that's not why he didn't hire him, because this is what happens in bad organizations. They've never won anything. Their team is down and out. And I'm just saying, if the reason that you didn't want to hire Bill Belichick is strictly because you don't want to upset the apple cart and you don't want to change what hasn't worked for 40 years or how long Arthur Blank has owned that team, it hasn't been that long. But Chris, I'm just saying, if that's the reason, then I got a problem with that, because you got to be willing to change. It ain't working the way they've been doing it in Atlanta. And I'm not the biggest Bill Belichick guy. I've told you that, Chris. But I'm saying, if that's the reason that you're not hiring somebody because, oh, my God, the guy who's been a GM or been in the front office for 15 years is going to get put out, or the other person is going to get put out, or whatever, like that can't be the reason why you don't hire somebody. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
And I agree with that philosophy. If you're the owner and you run things, then do what you want to do.
Right.
However, what I disagree with, Arthur Blank, or even if it, and Rob did Arthur Blank just wanted Belichick to coach too, right? He didn't want him to be the GM and all that. Is that correct?
That's not what I took from that Albert Beard thing. That's what I'm.
The way that Beer reported it is that Arthur Blank was 100% on board with Belichick. The coach was fine with paying him whatever it is that he wanted. What his issue was, and the issue within the building was, if we hire Bill as the coach, he's going to want X, Y, and Z in the front office. He's going to want this much say of this. He's going to want this kind of guys coming in with him, and they were not on board with that stuff.
And nor should they have been. And that's where I don't know if you, Rob, Atlanta, Washington, Seattle, any organization in NFL should not turn their team over as far as the front office and all that to Bill Belichick. That would be lunacy. Now, sure, hire him as a head coach. We know he's a great coach. We know he's a great defensive mind. But give the front office to him? Give him full authority?
No, you're missing what I'm saying. You're missing what I'm saying.
No, I get you.
I want you to make sure that you understand what I'm saying. Okay.
You're saying that if you're the owner, you shouldn't listen to the employees. Is that correct?
Yeah, that
I'm fine with that.
That people losing their jobs on an organization that doesn't win. I'm sorry.
I ain't worried about people losing their jobs. I'm worried about giving control of football operations to the wrong man. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what we should be talking about. I agree with you. If you're the owner and you want to go a certain direction, and say your GM, your assistant GM, they're worried that, hey, if Bill comes in, we're going to lose our jobs. I get you on that, and that's fine. Like, if you want to bring in a new GM and you want to bring in a new head coach, of course those guys are gone, and you shouldn't let their feelings get in the way of you doing what's best for the franchise. What I'm saying is Bill Belichick needs to just be coaching. What in the world did I see in New England the last 5 years to make me think otherwise?
I can't get with a team, Chris, with an organization that is afraid to hurt people's feelings when you don't win. That's all. I hear your point on Bill. Would you want to
give him control?
He's going to have some say. I'm not saying total control. No, not total control.
I mean, every coach has
but there's
some
no way
say.
that he's not going to have any
Every coach has some say,
so
and
that's what I'm
he should
saying.
get the requisite amount of say.
But I'm not coming in there with the same old guys who've been in Atlanta for 15 years and nothing's worked. Those guys, Chris, if you want to go out and hire a new general manager and move some people around and go bring in some new talent or new eyes or whatever, that's fine. But to just stay the status quo and bring in Raheem Morris because he won't be able to.
No, because he's just going to coach football. What's wrong with that? I'm looking for a coach. I don't need a GM.
Because it's bigger than that, because there's other issues with that organization, the picking of players.
They do have a lot of talent, Rob. The front office has actually put together a nice team. They don't have a quarterback. I would like to know your thoughts on Bill Belichick.
I just told you.
Hiring him as the.
I would hire him, and I would give him. He would have some say, not total
but
control.
Every coach has some say.
No, but I'm just telling you.
Would he be the coach or would he be the coach/GM?
No, that's not what I said. I said he would be the coach, but he, of course, would have say in front office affairs.
What coach doesn't have any say?
All right, so that's what you're hiring.
So he's just the coach.
Albert Beer didn't say. Bill Belichick said, if I'm not the GM and bottle washer, I'm not coming. That's not what he reported.
What he said, I agree with you on the people. That's fine. I mean, I don't think that's the conversation. Saying. The conversation is Bill Belichick to me. And no franchise in the NFL should give him control of football operations. Bill, you're a great coach.
But Chris,
come here and coach.
But
of course, we're all together. We have to work together, and I want to hear your thoughts on these players. But I'm just saying the GM or the president, however they line up their organization, should have the final say. They shouldn't have to cower and kowtow to Belichick like he had it in New England. That's all I'm saying. I agree with you on your philosophy.
I just think this is why certain teams don't win. It's like they're so.
I mean, Atlanta was in the Super Bowl a few years ago, right? Not like they've been. They haven't been a great franchise, but let's not act like they've been just the.
All I'm saying is there are teams, and you can't be afraid to make changes. That's all Chris, that's all I'm saying.
That ain't the right change. I don't think anybody would disagree with you.
There's no way Bill
Rob.
Belichick is coming there where he won't have any say with personnel.
Do you know you don't think Raheem Morris going to have any say?
I don't think he'll have any kind of say that Bill Belichick, not a guy with 6 Super Bowls,
let's see how Bill Belichick, let's see where his next job is.
All right, and we'll see how Raheem Morris does with the Falcons. We'll see how
I'm just saying,
when they're raising the Super Bowl trophy, they made the right decision.
Of course, the coach should be able to sit there and be like, these are the guys I like. This is why I like him. I would pick him. I think we should pick him. Of course. You just don't have the final say. That's all I'm saying. And I think, I think they'd be willing to give Bill Belichick some say because he's the head coach. But you got to be able to work with others.
Yeah, but nobody says that he's not. I mean, the last soundbite I heard from Bill was about not being that guy.
You were about the only one that believed that soundbite.
No, but it came out of his mouth.
Fine. A lot of stuff's come out of people's mouths.
I'm just saying.
I didn't believe it. And now, of course, it seems like he wanted more in Atlanta. So what happened to that? I just want to coach.
No, I'm not so sure if that was it or if it was that Atlanta was so afraid to make major changes. Rob G, jump in.
Well, I got a question for you, Rob, because you're very upset, and I understand about the idea that Atlanta just didn't feel comfortable cleaning house because they have familiarity in the building. Right. They don't want to let go of it. Raheem Morris coached in Atlanta from 2015 to 2020. Do you believe, in just without no sourcing, just your opinion, that because they're already familiar with him in the building, that was one of the driving forces to why
probably they know him
else?
Yeah, they know him, and they know he's not going to be an overbearing guy who's going to flex his muscles and tell you to the people in the front office, you don't know. You guys have never won here. I'm trying to tell you what I bring to the table, and I've won. And I didn't just win 6 championships in New England. I won 2 Super Bowls in New York, and I did this and I did that.
Stop it with
I'm
that.
just saying.
You can go, anybody can flex what I did as a coordinator.
But I'm just saying those are the things that maybe they don't want to deal with, Rob G. That's all I'm saying, is that because Chris is saying, of course, Bill's going to have some say.
Well,
so what's the problem?
Something.
What's the problem?
No, I'm not saying what's the problem. I'm saying I would not turn over final say to Bill Belichick. I wouldn't. Because, Bill Belichick didn't do a good job in New England the last few. Once Tom Brady left, he didn't do a good job. As with final say. So why in the world would I give him final say now? That's all I'm
the
saying.
people in Atlanta haven't done anything. That's why they got a new coach.
They've gotten some good talent.
That's why they got a new coach.
They need a coach and a quarterback. And maybe we'll see.
Didn't they draft a
lot of teams messed up at quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but I'm just saying, that's what they need, and we'll see. How well Morris does there, Rob. Are they going to go get Justin Fields? Are they going to go get Kirk Cousins? All that remains to be seen. But I don't fault them for just wanting Bill Belichick to be the coach. Of course, you get, say, like other coaches, but you're not coming in here and just taking control of the organization. Now, if it was somebody else, maybe much younger, maybe, but not Belichick now.